Alright guys, so today we're going to be finishing up your photo mosaic. First thing I need you to do is open up to Photoshop 2018. Once you are in Photoshop 2018, go ahead and click on File, go to the bottom and click on Automate, and then slide over to where it says Contact Sheet 2. So in here we're going to be creating our background. The background is going to consist of all the images you guys cropped and edited in Lightroom. So first thing for use, you make sure you're in folder. Next thing you'll do is click on choose to find that folder where you just added all your photos from Lightroom. Once you've found it, go ahead and click on open, and that will add that folder to the contact sheet 2. So it's going to take all the images from that folder to put into contact sheet 2. Next thing you're going to want to do is come down here to where it says document. For units, you're going to want to change that to pixels. You're going to change the width to 3000 and the height to 2250. Make sure you also change the resolution to 300. Under thumbnails down here, you're going to want to change your columns to 20 and your rows to 15. The next thing you guys need to do is make sure your flatten all layers is off, and you're also going to want to make sure that your file name as caption font is also unchecked. These are two really important steps, the flatten all layers and the file name. So make sure you guys click on those, making sure that it is not checked. Once all is that done, you guys can go ahead and click OK, and that's going to arrange all of your images in the contact sheet for you, and it's going to do all the hard work for you guys. Might take a minute or two as it just adds all those images in there also. Right, so the images are kind of popping up now. Photoshop's just figuring out what it needs to do with all the images and how it's going to arrange it and everything. Alright, so now all our files are added onto our contact sheet. This is kind of the more tedious part of the project. What I would recommend is zooming in to your image so you get closer to all the pictures. I would start on the left top corner. What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to just put all the images right next to each other so that they fit nice and evenly. You can also move them around if you wanted to change position. So if you had some that were right next to each other that were the same image, I would recommend moving those around so that it's not super repetitive. And then continuing to move them until you have all of them next to each other. The best thing to do is to move them super close to each other. And if you need to, you can use the arrow keys to move them the tiny little bits closer, just like so. My contact sheet pretty much all together. I obviously have quite a little bit of negative space going here, so I'm going to show you an easier way to fix that. First thing you're going to want to do is on your layers, which is going to be on the right corner over here, you're going to want to click the top one. Hold down shift and scroll down all the way to the bottom where it says background and click on your background. Next, I want you to hold down control on your keyboard, click on one of the layers, and I want you to click flatten image to make it all one picture so that your layers don't get all messed up and you're moving just each individual image. Next, go ahead and click on the rectangle tool, go directly over your contact sheet. You're going to copy and paste it, and then we're going to drag it away just like that, and you guys can repeat that as many times until your image is completely full. Oops. Just like so. Have your screen complete full. Again, click on that top layer in your bottom right corner. Scroll down to your bottom layer where it says background, holding shift, click on the bottom one. Control, click, and then flatten image. So it's all just one image. We don't have to worry about the layers moving around on us. So once you guys have this, go ahead and go up on the top toolbar, click on edit, define pattern, and I want you to name it Photo Mosaic, and then click OK. Once you've done this, go ahead and open your main image that you were going to use. You can do that by going ahead and clicking File, Open, and then finding your image in whatever folder you guys have. Which could take a minute. Right here, my contact sheet's right next to it. What you're going to want to do next is click on Layer, New Fill Layer, and then go down to the bottom Pattern. And then go ahead and click on OK. So this is going to put that pattern that we just made on top of your contact sheet. Go ahead and play around with the scale, but I would stick to anywhere between 20 and 30, kind of the lower numbers, so that it's more repetitive. Your eyes aren't focusing on each individual image, but mainly the main image. You can also play around with this later, so go ahead and click OK. You can mess around with the different scale later as we go. But the next thing I want you to do is under layers right here where it says normal, go down to, we're going to use the soft light so that the main image kind of pops through. So this is going to be the part where it's up to you, kind of playing with the different settings of each layer until you like the way the image looks. If you want to play with the background, just click on the background. You can mess around with the adjustments in there. If you want to mess with the pattern, go ahead and do that. I do suggest increasing the brightness on the background and increasing the contrast to make it kind of stand out a little bit. I also suggest on your pattern is using the saturation to boost that saturation to make your eyes kind of connect more to that image. It'll also make it look like all of your little images are coloring the main image, which is kind of the idea of a mosaic. So the rest is up to you. Play around with it, see what you can come up with. When you're done, you're going to want to do the same thing where you're clicking on that top layer, scrolling down to the background, and flattening the image so that it's all one image. Then you're going to go to File, Save As, and you're going to save it as a JPEG once you're completely done. If you think you need to work on it again or you need a couple more days, go ahead and save it as a Photoshop file so that you can come back to it tomorrow or you can go back to it later and continue working on it. But once you're done, save it as a JPEG, click Save, and then you can send it to either Google Classroom or email it to me so I can get it printed and ready to go for the Day of the Dead event. If you guys have any questions during the video, during your time working, just raise your hand and ask, and I can come over and assist you. Other than that, good luck. I can't wait to see them.